Howdy, Rock Mike here. I wanted to do a video on my little power hammer that I built. I posted some pictures up a while back, but I haven't showed it running. But I got it all functioning now and all pretty much fine-tuned. Been blacksmithing for, I don't know, about 8 months, I guess. I got this little 80-pound anvil. You know, it works. It's nice. It's got a 3/4 hardy hole and a horn to shape stuff with, but you know, I'm a retired bricklayer and my joints hurt, and I sure enjoy smithing and moving metal and just being creative. So I thought I'd build me one of these to save my arm. I watch a lot of Christ-Centered Ironworks videos on the YouTube. He's a great teacher, you know, awesome channel. Really recommend it. Him and his wife put a ton of time into that channel for us. And we really appreciate it. But a while back he built him what he calls a hardy hammer, and it mounts on a large anvil in the hardy hole and allows you to shape metal, heat her up and beat her without swinging a hammer. So I seen that and went, oh my, I need one of those. So I decided I'd build my own and created this contraption. You know, this spring through here is out of Roy's book. You know, it's not a traditional toggle arm setup like a Little Giant would have. And when I saw that, you know, it just kind of really seemed like a very simple way of doing it. A lot less fab work and what have you. And I just happen to have this spring laying around. This is an old spring out of a piece of John Deere farm equipment, and this shaft is a piece of John Deere farm equipment. It weighs 8.5 pounds, you know, and it's good metal. It spark tests really good. But I'll just kind of tell you a little story about, you know, what I learned with this and why it's built like it is. This is an 1.25 inch plate. Originally, I had these timbers that I've lag bolted and glued together coming all the way out onto this stump. And then, you know, this plate would come out here and the die was mounted to it. Well, that, you know, it worked, but it didn't move metal like I wanted my little hammer to move metal. So I figured it needed some more mass underneath of it. So this is my old 8-inch round mild steel ASO. This is what I originally started smithing on. So I cut these timbers off and I mounted this guy on there, and this is the top of a track off of an old railroad cart. You know, the little small tracks, you know, perfect for a die for a hammer this size. So big improvement. That really helped having that mass under there. It moves metal way better. Originally, the 1700 RPM motor was just too much speed. You know, this thing was scary. I didn't want to be around it. It demanded full attention. Do not take your eyes off of it. So I put a step down pulley on it, 3 to 1 inch, and come off the 1 inch up here to the 10-inch main shaft pulley. This is a timing belt tensioner off a Ford 2.3 liter. You know, just had one laying around. I really enjoy repurposing junk, and you know, and that's what this thing is. It's just repurposed crap and junk. This is just an old pulley off of an air compressor I had out back, and you know, a cap for a pipe. You know, and just a bunch of scrap metal I had laying around. This guide was hooked up into this pin off of some piece of farm equipment. Worked perfect. Fit that axle shaft. I needed something longer and heavier. I made it out of 2-inch square 120 wall stuff I had laying around. A little too thin for cranking bolts down through pillow blocks, so I welded these sleeves in here. Just got sleeves welded in there, so I don't have to worry about that. Of course, googly eyes. Every cool power hammer should have them. And this is my foot pedal linkage. We just simply have a bolt welded in here with a piece of round stock and a nut on the end to, you know, give us a little pivot, and another piece of round stock, and this comes up for the brake linkage. And I play around with these spring tension, and I can fine tune my brake with these springs, different ones. When I first ran it, it didn't have a brake. You could lift up on the foot pedal with your foot, but that sucks. So I decided I'd make a brake. I just forged out a piece of mild steel, glued some leather in there, and then, like I say, that linkage that comes down here off of that. So when you let off, you tighten the belt on the motor, the brake releases the cam wheel, and you can kind of just drag that, and you can slow it down and give you some nice planishing blows, or stomp on it and hammer down. So this is the on-off switch down here. Again, repurposed junk off a pressure washer. So let's fire it up. There we go. Brake is working. So there we go. There she's running. Kind of turn you this way so you can see it better. You see, we can run it pretty slow. You know, you take the board out of there and we're not even touching the die. You know, some nice planishing work. And you can see it out. Really hammer away. Or let up. Again, you got pretty good control. The brake holds. So there we go. She's a little violent, but yeah, it works good. I'll have to shoot another video for y'all, and we'll fire up the forge, and we'll heat up some metal and move some metal. You know, this thing kicking off all wonky like this as the brake is holding the cam wheel in this position. You know, I've tried running some hardened pins through here, some mild pins, to try to center it. It hates it. It does not like that. It really doesn't. And the RPM that I'm running now seems to smack. I'm getting pretty much maximum whip out of this, I feel. Running the RPM I'm running, I've slowed it down a little. It doesn't quite hit as hard. I've sped it up, and it doesn't quite hit as hard. I'm getting kind of a float in this linkage. You know, maybe a traditional linkage, I could dial that out of it. I played around with springs, sleeving the outer part of the spring to stop this and not let this move. I tried that. That was kind of promising, but you know, really, like this, letting that thing get wonky and just do its thing is worked the best. It hits the hardest like that. So it is what it is. I love it. It actually works. And we're going to fire up my little forge here soon, and we'll heat up some metal, and we'll show you how this thing pounds. Alright, so thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. I think I explained it pretty thorough, you know, so if a guy wanted to go out and try to build one himself, I got about $100 into this thing just using repurposed junk, so it can be done cheap if you hoard crap like I do. So, again, thanks for watching. Hammer on.